Being a parent has its ups and downs. I would say mostly ups, but just a couple of downs. And one of those can be the tantrums that kids can throw, young or even a little bit older, when they don't want to do something or go somewhere. So it could be a camp, a sport, or an after-school program, but they're not thinking about the money or the thoughts that you put into putting them in these programs. So this is something that I've dealt with in my personal life. When do you put your foot down, and when do you let them skip? You don't want to mess your kids up, right? That's our #1 goal. So we are talking about it more this morning with Dr. Ramon. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning, Caitlin. Thanks for having me.
So you are a child psychologist with Endeavor Health. Thank you so much.
A child psychiatrist, but yes.
You're a psychiatrist, excuse me. Yep. Okay, so I told him in the break that I'm gonna tell you guys a personal story, and I hope you don't judge me too much. As a parent, I'm sure we're all going to cross this road at some point, but a couple weeks ago, I have a 3-year-old daughter, and I signed her up for gymnastics with her sister, thinking this would be a really fun thing. They could do this together, maybe it'll make her more comfortable. Well, one night, it's a little bit later in the evening, I think she was tired, she didn't want to go. And my other daughter's in the class, so we were going, and I said, you are going, Darcy, you're going to gymnastics. So I was carrying her outside. She was crying. I had her gymnastics outfit in a backpack, and I was losing my mind. Like, we're going to gymnastics. And my husband, he's more calm, and he said, what are you doing? Leave her here with me. She doesn't want to go. So that was a moment where he brought me back down to reality that maybe this was not the right approach. So my question for you is, what do we do in those situations? How do we know how to handle it and move forward?
Yeah, it's a great question, right? And I think that the example you used is a super one, because it highlights when you have options, then you can do different things, right? So you were lucky enough to have your husband be able to step in and potentially take on childcare. It's a different scenario when you don't have that sort of support.
Yes.
And I think in general, what you want to do is strongly encourage your kids to participate in these sorts of activities. And especially when they're in their younger ages, right? So preteens, we're focused on trying to get them as many opportunities so that they can really figure out what it is that they like to do. And they're not going to do that if they never have an opportunity to play soccer. They're not going to know that they like soccer, right? If they don't try gymnastics, they'll never know that they like gymnastics. And so I think as a parent, it's our responsibility to always push kids up to that limit and make sure that they've had a chance to try it. If after 3 or 4 gymnastic sessions, your daughter said, you know what, this isn't for me, I hate it, I think you got to take that and treat that seriously. Try not to factor in the money situation.
the money, you guys. Okay, so what if your kid likes it for a little bit and then one day they don't want to go? So you're saying push them, but like, we need specifics here as parent. Like, how far? So if she's crying, should I have buckled her in the car and taken her off to gymnastics, or do I say no? I don't know. I need answers.
Yeah, so fair enough. I think that you handle that correctly in letting your husband take over that situation.
Yes.
And letting her stay at home for that one incident. But I think over time you've got to push generally. And part of it is also to the extent that kids are older and able to participate in that decision making, having those discussions with them right around the breakfast table or the dinner table and saying to them, okay, should we sign up for soccer? Should we sign up for hockey? Should we sign up for gymnastics? And letting them choose and have some voice in that. I do think that teaching them early on about the responsibility with money is really important. And it's going to be a healthy life lesson for them to learn that money has a value. And so you can't sign up for everything because it costs a lot of money. So what is it you're going to pick and choose? And I think that you have to also recognize that over the course of several years, kids are going to try on lots of different activities, right? And so, again, our job is to support them and allow them to do that. So I think in the moment, you can always let them bail out, but, consistently, you want to keep getting them up. And, the example I always think of is those hockey moms who are, pushing their kids out the door at 4 a.m. to get on that hockey rink before school. That's an important life lesson. And, kids are not inherently going to want to get up that early. You got to push them.
So you think, I know we got to wrap, but so you think that we should discuss with them the money? You mentioned that. You think we should bring up the money to the children? Like
absolutely. They need to understand what that investment of money and time, frankly, right? As a parent, you've only got limited time, especially if you've got more than one kid. And so you have to parse that out.
Right.
And so it can't be, we're doing gymnastics, but you're doing hockey and the other one is doing soccer, right? So you got to balance all of that within family and making family decisions, not just individual decisions.
So pushing your kids is not going to make them need therapy down the road.
Definitely not, as long as it's not too consistent.
Okay, new experiences, and you got to know where to draw the line based on your own child, I guess, right?
Absolutely. Knowing your kid is really critical in that equation, right?
Yes.
So the advice
Okay.
for you may be different than someone else based
Beautiful.
on that kid and that temperament. And even
Yes.
within your two kids, right?
Yeah.
They're going to have different ways of
Different.
handling the world.
Absolutely. I could talk to you all day, and I'm taking up too much time. Thank you so much, Doctor. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday.
A pleasure, and I'm not judging.
Thank you.